Sairam children, welcome to the online classes. Children, can you tell me what is Taj Mahal made up of? You guessed it right. Taj Mahal is made up of marble. Can you tell me what is the Red Fort made up of? Yes, the Red Fort is made up of a rock called as sandstone. So, can you guess the name of the lesson that we are going to discuss today? We are going to discuss lesson number 2, rocks and minerals. In this lesson, we are going to discuss types of rocks, igneous rocks, types of igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, types of sedimentary rocks, metamorphic rocks, types of metamorphic rocks, wealth from rocks, building materials, metals, gemstones, fuels, importance of coal and petroleum. These are the topics that we are going to discuss in this lesson. The earth is almost entirely made up of rocks. What does this mean? Children, we know that the earth can be divided into 3 layers. The innermost layer of the earth is called as core. Above the core is mantle, and the outermost layer of the earth where we live is called as crust. And all the layers of the earth contain rocks in abundance. The outermost layer of the earth, that is crust, we can find rocks in mountains, in valleys, in the hills, even at the bottom of the rivers and seas. The stones, pebbles, garden soil, sand are all made up of rocks. But can you tell me what are the rocks made up of? Rocks are made up of tiny grains called minerals. If you have a magnifying lens at home and if you see a rock with the magnifying lens, you will be able to see the grains in the small granular structure or grains in the rocks. What are they? Yes, it is minerals. They are minerals. So, rocks are made up of tiny grains called minerals. The minerals may be big or small based on the type of rock or based on how the rock was formed. Now we are going to discuss in detail about rocks. Based on how the rocks are formed, the rocks can be divided into 3 types: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. Now igneous rocks are also called as fiery rocks or fiery rocks because they are formed from lava. Sedimentary rocks are made up of already existing rocks, the broken down particles of already existing rocks. And metamorphic rocks. Meta means to change, morph means to form, means form. So metamorphic rocks are formed when the already existing rocks change, because when it comes in contact with extreme pressure and heat, the already existing rocks change their form and they form metamorphic rocks. So let us discuss about rocks in detail. Now, as we have discussed, deep inside the earth, rocks are also present. So, inside the earth or deep inside the earth, the temperature is very high. So, the rocks melt. Rocks are found in molten state here. This molten form of rock is called as magma. And when this magma comes out above the surface of the earth, from the earth's crust, from a volcano or from an opening in the earth's crust, we call it lava. So, when the molten form of rock is found inside the earth, it is called as magma. And when the magma gets pushed upward towards the surface of the earth, it is called as lava. Now, the magma sometimes cools quickly or it cools slowly. At times it cools down under the surface of the earth and at times it cools down above the surface of the earth. Depending on how the magma cools down, the rocks are formed. Different kind of rocks are formed. Now, due to this intense heat and pressure deep inside the earth, the hot magma at times rises up through the cracks in the crust or by the way of a volcanic eruption. The magma or lava upon cooling solidifies into a type of rock called as igneous rock. So how the igneous rocks are formed? Igneous rocks are formed when the magma or lava cools down. Now we are going to discuss about types of igneous rocks. There are 4 types of igneous rocks: granite, basalt, pumice and obsidian. We are going to discuss in detail about these rocks now. Granite is formed when magma cools slowly under the surface of the earth. So, how is granite formed? Granite is formed when magma cools slowly under the surface of the earth. Granite is a very hard rock. It is made up of large grains. Okay, it is made up of minerals called as quartz, mica and feldspar. Granite may be found in white, grey, black, pink. It is found in many colors. It is depending on the minerals it contains. Granite is very hard and is used in building material. It is used in historical monuments, construction of buildings, tombs, road construction, pavements construction. The kitchen counter at our house is made up of granite. Basalt is formed when lava cools quickly and hardens into a solid rock. It is a fine grained and glassy igneous rock. It is formed when volcanic lava cools very fast and hardens quickly above the surface of the earth. When it comes in contact with the air, it is dark colored and it is used in construction. See, it is used in construction to add strength to the construction. Now, the next kind of rock is pumice. Pumice is a unique, light and porous rock. It is formed when the molten lava cools very fast. Pumice is light colored igneous rock that forms from frothy lava. When the frothy lava cools quickly on the earth's surface, pumice is formed. When it cools down, the gases in the froth remain trapped inside. The pumice, therefore, it looks like a sponge and it has hole with it. It has hole in it. Pumice is used as body scrubber and it is also used to polish furniture and floors. It is used in erasers also. It is very light colors and it floats on water. It is light in weight. Now the next igneous rock that we are going to discuss is obsidian. Obsidian is smooth and glassy. It is formed by quick cooling of lava. It is dark colored igneous rock and it is formed when magma cools quickly. It is sometimes colorful also. When it is broken, it is brittle. When it is broken, it breaks in edges. That's why it was used by ancient humans to make tools. It is also used for piercing and making the tools related to surgery. At times it is also used in monuments and making ornaments also. Now the next type of rock that we are going to discuss is sedimentary rock. Rocks that are exposed to forces of nature wear out. The rocks are broken and they are broken into small particles called as sediments due to the heat of sun, hail, wind, rain, etc. The external forces or the natural forces make the rocks break down. They break down the rocks into smaller pieces. They are called as sediments. So, wind and rain carry these sediments or small fragments lakes, rivers, seas and oceans, where they slowly sink down to the bottom and settle down in the layers. They form layers of the sediment there. As the layers of the sediment build upon year over year, what happens? The layer below gets crushed under the layers above, and over millions of the years they are turned into sedimentary rocks. So there are four types of sedimentary rocks: conglomerate, sandstone, shale and limestone. We will discuss how these rocks are formed. Before that, sometimes while the formation of sedimentary rocks, as the sedimentary rocks are formed layer by layer, during the formation of these layers, at times some creatures get trapped inside these layers, and either a leaf or a skeleton of a creature, it gets trapped inside the layer and they form imprints. So these are called as fossils. So fossils are formed during the formation of sedimentary rocks. Now we are going to discuss in detail about the types of sedimentary rocks. Now the first sedimentary rock is conglomerate. Conglomerate looks like pebbles are cemented together with minerals. They are formed when the lower layers of sediments consist of pebbles and sand. It is used in tiles. Shale. Shale is formed when layers of clay and silt harden. It is smooth and mostly used to make cement and bricks. Limestone mostly consists of the mineral called as calcite. Calcite is formed from the shells and skeletons of tiny sea animals. When these sea animals die, their shells and skeletons settle on the seabed and form limestone. Chalk is a kind of limestone. Limestone is used to make cement and bricks. Sandstone is formed when the grains of sand get compressed and cemented together. It consists mostly of mineral quartz. It is commonly used in constructing buildings. Red Fort is made up of sandstone. So children, today we have discussed how the rocks are formed. We have discussed in detail about various types of igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks. So we are going to end this session here. I hope you enjoyed the session, children. Sai Ram.